All right. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever it is across the seven seas you are hailing from. Today is Saturday, June 10th, and looking forward to a good session here. This is my first live stream outside of educational classes that I've had in the past, and just making sure all the technology works. There's been new versions of operating systems, new versions of software, lockdowns on various pieces of technology, especially the camera. I have had a heck of a time trying to get this camera to work. And yeah, I know it's because I put myself in the Mac bubble, but it works, and that's why I love the Mac. So hope everyone's having a good one. And those of you tuning in, feel free to post any questions or comments in the chat board. And I wanted to just kind of start this off as I see how this works. Oh, okay. So I've got my screen. I can see my screen. What do you guys see? Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So I've got the streaming controls down in the corner, or actually on my second monitor, but I'm actually sharing this screen. Okay. So that's pretty good. And I can resize my avatar here so you don't need to see my big face. I mean, yeah, certainly we all have a bit of a hubris where we enjoy seeing ourselves somewhere, but not today. Today is not that day. So I named the live stream Pieces of Eight. And if you're not familiar with me and my work, I work with a company, or my company is Sabre Trading Systems, and our theme is trade like a pirate. I've been an educator my entire corporate career. Back when I in college, I was teaching people how to use computer systems. And my corporate career, I was an instructor and an IT help desk person, so I'm always having to help people, instruct people. And then I became a web developer, and I taught people how to start their own web development business as well, going to different conferences or having my own business. At the time, it was like called the WP Dojo. So I had a whole Asian motif being in a dojo. And now it is a pirate. So a pirate's life for us. And what do? We're stealing money. We're taking money away from the bank. So just like Jack Sparrow takes money from the British and all that other stuff. Anywho, enough of that. I love to teach. And the biggest thing I learned about trading is psychology. And I thought this would be a good inaugural lesson to teach in the trading world, because people think, oh, it's easy, but it's really hard. But 90% of that difficulty comes in our own skulls. It's very contradictory. You could be a very successful doctor, a very successful lawyer, a very successful manager, and you can crash and burn as a trader. And why is that? Because trading works very opposite of what we've been taught all our lives. As a stimulus response creature, I like to say, if I do this, I'm going to get that. And it's not always that way in trading. If I see a trend and if I see a pattern and I place a trade, hey, I made a win. And then the very next day I see a trend and I see a pattern and I place a trade, and it's like, oh, I lost. Why is that? It's just trading. As I like to say, the market's just going to market on you, right? So this Pieces of Eight, it's the concept of having a bit of information. And I love saying, if you give someone your 2 cents, you're giving them some advice. And I like to say, I'm going to give you $1.50 worth of my 2 cents. I'm going to give you more than you asked for, probably, because I care and I want people to learn. I really want people to grow, and especially as a trader, and especially today. Today is you have to learn how to trade. The economy, the inflation, the challenges that we're going to have in not just retiring, but people are going to expire before they retire. We can't retire. In fact, I just got a thing in the mail yesterday for opening up a CD. Like, oh, great, you're going to give me 4.6%. I was like, well, thanks a lot. Inflation is 12 to 15%. So if I give you my money, it's going to sit there and lose value. And the only vehicle that I know that can help your money stay above that is trading. And that's why I'm very passionate about this. So before you even get into the field of trading, if you're a new trader or if you've been frustrated, like this kind of yin yang thing, hey, I'm having a great time as a trader. Oh man, things suck. What do? And you want to make sure you have your mind right. What's that cool hand, Luke? We want to make sure you got your mind right. So, and Pieces of Eight, back in the day, coins like a quarter today, a quarter has a reason why it's called a quarter. It's a quarter of a dollar. And a piece of 8, they actually used to have these gold coins, and they had scores in them. So you can break them off into 8 pieces. You got a half, a quarter, an eighth. And so I'm just giving you a piece of my mind. I'm going to give you a piece of 8 over here. So that's what I'm looking at doing. Okay, so let's get started. Just initially, thank you very much for joining me, myself, and I. Thank you for joining us on a Saturday, and looking forward to seeing this grow during the week. Again, this is just a kind of a test. Let's make sure my camera works. Let's make sure my browser works. Let's make sure that all this looks good. Now I'm getting the hang of this. But thank you for taking an hour of your time. And if it goes an hour, it goes an hour. If not, we might be done early. So again, post any questions you've got in the chat room if you've got them. The one big thing is people think that we're coming to battle in the market. And the market is a very emotional creature. In fact, the first trading class I ever took 25 years ago, going on now, was with Tony Robbins, of all things. And I was taught in that class that the market is very emotional. In fact, think of Mr. Market. Think of him as a person. And he's bipolar, actually. He's happy this way, he's sad this way, he's angry this way. A piece of news comes out, and he explodes. And we were taught to trade the news, basically. But when I learned that, markets have patterns, and really to become a successful trader, you don't have to be a great market analyst, a great industry analyst, a great political analyst, a great economic analyst. No, you have to be a pattern recognition analyst, a pattern recognition expert. If you can see patterns, kind of like, if you have a kid, it's like you realize, well, the kid's starting to get tired. Well, the kids hadn't eaten in 3 hours. Oh, and the kids did this and that. He's going to explode. You can predict that there's a pattern here. And every time this pattern happens, you might see it in your spouse. Every time we cross this bridge, every time we cross this grocery store, cross that coffee shop, you can elicit a response. You see patterns that happen. Or every time you see, my wife's a big dog person. So every time you see a dog, oh, look at a little doggy. And I see dogs, we're going to stop and have a 5-minute conversation. I can see a pattern, right? and trading is like that. Trading is pattern recognition. It ain't rocket surgery, as I like to say. But you do need to become a pattern recognition expert. So is the market against you? No. I mean, the market doesn't care. What do we want to do? I want to be a successful, profitable, successful millionaire trader. And the market is just like, I don't care. So really the market's pretty neutral. It's just full of other people and institutions like ourselves to make money. And we're competing, number one, with ourselves, because we're competing with our psychology. So they're not necessarily our enemy, but they're certainly not our friend. I've heard it put that the market's number one job is to take away your money. And our number one job is to take the money out of the market. And as long as we're taking more than we're giving, then you're good. And I look at trading like any other business. You have to invest in your business. Like if you wanted to open up a cigar lounge, you might need $400,000 to buy your initial stock of cigars. You might need $700,000 to upfit your building and get the air ventilation system right. You might need to do $100,000 in marketing, advertising, licensing, getting your alcohol liquor license and all that. And then you got to start making your money. So it takes money to make money. You got to spend some money to then start bringing in this income. In trading, it's the same way. I might need to feed the market $100 a trade, a losing trade, but I'm going to be winning that money back. All right. So the psychology here is you got to realize that a loss is not necessarily a loss. Like you're a loser. You did something wrong, that it's my fault. It's not. And like I said earlier, you can see a pattern, you can see a trend, you can see this environmental factor, place a trade. Yay, I'm a smart trader. I'm a winner. And the very next day, oh, look, there's that pattern again. Oh, look, we're in that very same trend. Oh, look, this very same event happened in the news. And you place that trade, and then it's like, what happened? I lost. It's not your fault. The market just doesn't care. But what we want to do as traders is come up with a system, make sure that your trading system, your trading methodology is systematized so that you can follow it to the letter. That's how franchises work, like McDonald's, like not Starbucks. That's not really not a franchise, but every single store, they follow a certain set of rules and they can expect a certain result. So if they say, oh, in this type of city or this type of suburb or this kind of thing, if we plant a McDonald's on this kind of corner, this is the kind of volume you can expect, and then this is the kind of income you can expect. So, okay, I want to open a McDonald's. Hey, I found a corner, I found a city, I found this. Boom, I open a McDonald's, and the odds are in my favor that I should be successful, that McDonald's or Starbucks or whatever should be successful. But what if it's not? There's a chance. What's that? The Dumb and Dumber with Jim Carrey, and Jim Carrey saying, "So you're saying there's still a chance?" And yes, there's a chance it could fail. That's why you want to be able to do something over and over and over, so that when those failures happen, that the successes take over. All right. So that's really how we want to treat trading. Now let's go to the next slide. So number one is I early in my trading career, for lack of a better term, when I started, I love teaching again, right? So I started writing articles, and I'm like, who's going to read these articles? And I found TradingView, and they were a really good environment, a really good ecosystem for me to put out my experiences, my learnings, and help teach other people to do this, and got great results. I was very happy with them. And this is part of why I'm doing this today. I love teaching. So when I became a trader, I wanted to say, how do I know the system works? And I learned about backtesting. Now, what is backtesting? For those who don't know, you have a trading system. Let's say, okay, in an uptrend, I'm looking for this pattern and I'm going to buy. In a downtrend, I'm looking for that very same pattern in reverse, and I'm going to sell. I'm going to place a short. And if you can go back in time, let's say go back to January 1st of 2020, and you go ahead and you run that system. What would I do here? What would I do here? What would I do? And you find like 60, 70, 80 trades that all meet that criteria. And you go, ooh, look at that. 2 times out of 3, this was a winning trade. So you've actually found a system that worked for you. And that's exactly how what I kind of methodically taught here in these 2 TradingView articles. And you're free to go find it. My profile is OCaptain, and it's, you can go to tradingview.com/view/OCaptain. And under my educational ideas, these 2 articles are there. But what you do is you got to find that pattern, and you say, wow, look at this. If I go back in time, every time this thing happens, as long as I take many, 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 many trades, yeah, I'm coming out ahead. Yeah, I lost 1 and I won 3. I lost 1 and I won 3. So number one thing that backtesting does is it determines the reliability. Is this system reliable? Does your system work? And you can't test, well, I can't say you can't test it, but it would be very difficult to test a system that's based on news. Like you're waiting for a news report, you're waiting for an announcement, because when does that announcement come out? If you're looking back, it's July 12th, 2021. How are you going to see if news came out? You're going to go to a newspaper site? You're going to go to an announcement site? Like, how do you do that? It's just going to be very, very hard. So if your trading system is technical, you're based on price action, sheer charts, you can easily just look at the chart. In fact, that's what I did when I learned this system. I had a left chart and a right chart, high time frame and low time frame. And as I was moving through the time frame, I should be looking for longs. I should be looking for shorts. And every pattern, I put it in a spreadsheet, put it in a spreadsheet, put it in a spreadsheet. And I said, wow, this system is what? Reliable. Now, I got to ask myself, not only does the system work, which I've not proven, but can I work the system? Because now I'm dealing with me. It's one thing to back test. It's another thing to forward test, getting your psychology in there. Now, let's say you do paper trading. Paper trading, it's safe, it's great, no risk, right? And you're placing those trades, and you give yourself 30 days. And after 30 days of forward testing that system that you back test, you're like, man, I'm doing good. I'm making money. This my paper trading account went from 1,000 to 1,600 in 30 days. Wow, that's a 60% return, man. If I compound that, I'm gonna rock this joint. Then you put $1,000 in a real account, all right? And what happens? You have a losing trade. You lost $10. If you follow a good risk management system, you shouldn't lose more than 1% on any trade. For me personally, it's 0.5%. I never risk more than 0.5%. Why? Because if I lose 0.5%. Who cares? I'd have to lose 20 times to lose 10% of my account. And how many traders out there place a trade and lose 50%? They blow their account. So I want my losses, I want the pain to be really small. If I'm going to protect myself, do I want to get a little shot, or do I want to chop off my arm and get some cyborg implant put in there? No, no, I don't want to do that. Give me the little shot. So my losses are really small. But the moment you leave paper trading, and go into live trading, it's a totally different animal. Even if you just risk a dollar to make $3, if you're doing a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So back testing, making sure your system is reliable, gives you the confidence. And then you're in the paper trading system. And wow, this is great. I made a 60% return over the last 30 days. But then what happens when you put that live money in there? You lost a dollar. You lost a dollar. You lost $10. You lost $5. And you're like, but then you realize that a lot of this is psychology. Like maybe you realize, well, when I was paper trading, I never moved my stop. When I was paper trading, I always stuck to my exits. When I was paper trading, I took every trade out there. I never second guessed anything. And I'm like, and now when I'm putting real money, I'm like, ooh, I know it meets all my criteria, but what if? And you flummox. You're like, what do I do? And you don't take the trades you need to take. And then when you lose, you want a revenge trade or say, I'm gonna get back at this, and then you lose even more money, or you put more money down. There's some kind of methodology, I forgot what it was, where, if you've had like multiple losses in a row, you know that the odds are in your favor that the next one's going to be a winner, so double your money or put even more money. It's like, no. Stupid. But what that does then, it lets you discover your weaknesses. Like, wow, I when there's real money on the line, I make bad decisions. All right. So that will help you test your system to, does the system work? And then number two, can you work the system as far as mechanically use your broker, proper risk management, do this? But then when you go real money, you can say, I have a weakness here. But what opportunities are there? Well, opportunity is I can't sit there and watch my trades. I need to, like, what's that meme where the one guy's like, no, and he's like, yeah, right? He's like, no, I can't look at my trades. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm going to look at my results and see how much money we made that day, because I'm going to follow my rules. I'm going to say I can't touch my trade. And I actually this happened to me this week. I'll share that on a future slide. But you got to make losses part of the process, because again, it takes money to make money. A pizza joint has to spend $10,000 worth of ingredients to sell $50,000 worth of pizza. A lawyer needs to spend X amount of money in advertising to generate X times 12 amount of money in client revenue. And as a trader, I'm going to have to give $100 to the market in order for me to make $300, $400, $500. So let's say that you have a 50% win rate, right? It's like that old game of flipping the coin. Okay, it's that coin toss gun. Now, shall we play a game? All right, let's think of the movie like in Saw. I want to play a game. Let's play a coin toss game. And let's say that I'm going to give you a coin, or I'll flip the coin. And every time it comes up tails, you're going to give me $100. Every time it comes up heads, I'm going to give you $300. Are you going to say, I don't know, man. I don't know about those odds. No, you're gonna say flip that coin a million times, man. How quickly can you flip that thing? Because half the time you're going to lose 100, half the time you're going to gain 300, and then so it's pretty much 50-50. You're flipping a coin, and so it's going to be win loss, win loss, win loss. You're going to lose 100, make 300, lose 100, make 300, lose 100, make 300, and that gives you the expectancy. That's what the word expectancy is in trading. If you're not familiar with that term. The expectancy is every time that coin is tossed, that toss is worth $100 to you. Because if you lost one and you gained one, if you lost 100 and made 300, what did you net? You netted $200. So no matter whether you win or lose, every time that coin is tossed, it's worth $100 to you. Because every two tosses, you made $200 on average. Now, what would happen if you had a couple losses in a row? Could the coin toss 3 tails in a row, 4 tails in a row, 5 tails in a row? Of course it can. Should that then prevent you from ever getting involved in this coin toss game again? Would you stop playing just because you got 6 tails in a row? Now, assuming the guy's not a shyster and he's, got a loaded coin, or he's got a double-headed coin or a double-tailed coin. Assuming that this is a legit coin. Can it go 5, 6 times in a row? What are the odds of that? 2 to the power of 5. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. You have a 1 in 64 chance that you can lose 6 times in a row. All right. But is that going to stop you? No, because the next time, what are the odds? 50%. So one of my favorite books, and I wrote a review on this as well. You can read that on my profile. is from Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. If you focus on each individual toss, it's random. It's unpredictable. You can't tell. If I flip that coin, I don't know if I'm going to win or lose. But what I do know is that on a collective basis, the opposite is true. If you keep flipping that coin, the more times you flip that coin, patterns will emerge which will produce a consistent, predictable, reliable, and in our case, profitable outcome. And yeah, I don't care what happens on any one toss. All right, you know what? I lost. All right, you know what? I lost. You know what? I lost. Because what do I know? Win. Now, I'll show you a couple practical examples of this. This is what really flipped my switch. Oh, here's another thing, too, before I get into that. Part of the psychology is not making losses painful. And in my theme of trading like a pirate, I didn't lose. I didn't lose to the British Army. I didn't lose to the Kraken. What did I do? I fed the Kraken, because I know if I feed the Kraken, he's going to be busy eating or he's going to have a full belly. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to just be able to go right through the gauntlet and I'm going to be able to reach the island, reach my treasure, get to my goal. That's why if you ever visit one of these alligator farms, I went to Florida one time on a mission trip and went to one of these alligator farms. And the woman from, what was that show? Gator something. It was a reality show. And Gator Boys. And she was there, and my wife and I got pictures with the girl there. Oh, wow, I'm here with a TV celebrity. But what do? They feed these gators, big hunkin', like whole chickens and stuff like that, before the visitors come. And so that way, what are they doing? They're just sitting there sunning on the, dude, this feels so good. And what do? The woman comes around and grabs his face and puts his face under her chin, and she does this great thing. Oh, yay, you're so brave. No, these guys are fat and happy. And while you're fat and happy, you can play with the gator. All right. So when we feed the Kraken, in my analogy, I'm feeding the Kraken so I can get the treasure. She's feeding the gators so she can make money, bring in attractions in, and not get bit. It's going to reduce your risk. Is the risk zero? No. Is there a chance you can get bit? That some alligators had a bad day, or his stomach was bigger than his eyes that time, and he actually is a little more hungry than he wants a little nip of her? Sure, that can happen. But what are the odds? Is it worth it? And that's what we got to do. And so I try to, because I'm still human, even though pirates are human too. I was going to say trade like a robot or trade like a Vulcan. That used to be my phrase. Trade like a Vulcan. Don't use emotion. Trade long and prosper, right? And the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, but especially me, the one. I need to make these trades. But that way you play the mind game of not letting this make you feel bad. Okay, I lost 3 trades in a row, but I know it's not my fault if I followed my system. All right, I lost 2 trades in a row. It's not my fault as long as I didn't trade emotionally. And that's what we want to do is keep the gator fed, feed the Kraken, and also keep ourselves healthy. Now, I'm using this trade. This came up this week in our group. And I wanted to show this. This was a perfect example of what an emotional trader could do if someone doesn't follow their system. And your system has to have what Mark Douglas calls an edge, where you would like this coin toss game. Yes, here's my percentage win rate, and then here's my risk to reward. And therefore that edge will give me consistent profits. So look at this trade. Look what happened here. All right, right here, we're in what I call Shortland. We're looking for selling opportunities. And over here, we had a particular pattern, what I call a saber pattern. And every time that pattern happens, there's a 13-point checklist that we follow to say, okay, here's the things we're doing. Boom, I need to take that trade. It's like Jack Nicholson. I want to take that trade. I need to take that trade. Every single trade that meets my edge, my rules, every single trade that meets your edge, your rules, your probabilistic rules-based system, you need to take it. You can't say, well, look at this thing up here. I know this is my pattern I'm looking for, but no, take the trade. Well, over here we had shark-infested waters, and over here it might be dangerous. No, take the trade. And that's why you got to have your edge. Because what happened? We had a basing candle and you had the pattern saying, okay, bing, I'm ready to take this trade. This meets all my criteria. And I go through my checklist. Yep, this meets all my criteria. So we place the trade. And these are 4-hour candles. So let's say this was 9 a.m. So we're trading at 9 a.m. And then we go offline. So what happens? At 1 p.m., we get this green candle. And then 5 p.m., so I'm having dinner. Bing, you're in the trade. Oh, cool, look at that. That big wick came in, and it's the 5 o'clock rollover. Oh, that makes sense. Awesome. Bing, that's why we had a big wick. We had the 5 o'clock rollover. Now I'm in the trade. And look, it came down here. Let's say I risked $100. And down here, I'm at 150. Awesome, man, I'm having dinner. I just made $150 sitting here eating my pork chops and watching The Last of Us on HBO and having a great time. And then 9 o'clock hits and price is going up. And then 1 a.m. hits. I'm asleep. And then 5 a.m. hits. All right. And then so I wake up at 6, 7 o'clock, usually. And I wake up and I look at my thing and I'm like, oh, wow. It's zinged up there and I make $150. Now I'm down here and I'm down to like $50. What do I do? Oh man, I just lost 3/4 of my profit. Should I get out of my trade? And then I see it going down, going down, going down. Okay, okay, it's working. And then what happens? It goes all the way down. Oh, this is awesome. I'm hitting the finish line. It's going to my target. And then by 1/10 of a pip, whoop, it goes right back up. And then whoop, it keeps going up. And then whoop, gets like, oh, dude, I had like $600 on this thing. And now I'm only down, now I got like $25. I'm done. I'm just going to get out of this trade and I'm going to take my profit. And what always happens? Whee! And then you just want to kick yourself in the head saying, why didn't I follow my rules? Why didn't I do this? I have an edge. I have a system. Why did I let this person talk me out of it? Why did I let that candle talk me out of it? Why did I let my fear get me out of it? If you have a system, follow the system. And you got to have that confidence. That just comes from experience. It's one reason why in back testing and also forward testing, here in the United States, in the Forex world, you can only trade currencies in the Forex world. You can't trade the commodities. I love that all of my trader brethren in Australia and Canada, in Spain and Italy and the Netherlands, and France and Saudi Arabia, I love that all my trader crew can trade the other assets. I mean, you're talking about the energy products, like 6 different products. You're talking about the metals, gold on the Aussie, gold on the yen, gold on the euro, gold on the pound. What can I trade? Well, in the futures market, I could trade gold, but I can't trade any of that here in the States. It's a CFD, and so we can't trade that here. So I'm jealous. So what do I do, though? I still back test or live test, simulate trade those because I want to keep that muscle sharp. I want to make sure that I want to practice more and more and more. Does Arnold Schwarzenegger or any weightlifter, any bodybuilder, do they go in and half-heartedly do it or only do half the job they came in? No, they go full out. And so, yeah, I might only be able to trade 60 assets as far as my live account, but I am also trading every other asset. So I think there's 98 different assets in our Forex watch list. So even though I can only trade it for real money, I'm still trading sim money and all those others because I got to follow my system. Why? Because I got to keep reminding myself every day I have an edge and I need to follow this edge. And if I let a couple of days go by, so I'm on vacation. In fact, my wife's got a family not a family reunion. This time it's a friend's birthday party. So we're going to a surprise birthday party. We hope it's a surprise, right? Odds are in our favor. It'll be a surprise. We'll find out. So I'll be gone for 4 or 5 days, and then I'll come home, and then I'm going to have to get my workout in because otherwise I might forget. And if I see a pattern, then I'm like, ooh, I'll forget my edge. I'll forget that I had the confidence of taking every single trade that I need to take. And I don't care if it's going to go up. I don't care if it's going down. I just care that I get into it because our job is to get into every single trading opportunity we can. So if you have a 50% win rate, and this is what this is what my May looked like. I'm just going to share with you. This is what my May looked like. There were 32 total trades that would have met my criteria, my rules-based system. And it's a price action-based system. So you might have a breakout based system. You might have a wick over wick, trending based system. You might have a news based system, whatever it is. Because of back testing, and it's not news, I can look at the patterns to see every single opportunity that I could have taken. But we did take 19 of them. All right. So we got 2/3 of all the possible opportunities. Because again, we're asleep. Some of these trades happen when you're sleeping, right? You can't be awake all the time. But this month, it was a little low for a typical month. It was only 53, only a 53% win rate. Ugh, all right. But regardless of win rate, well, not regardless, because if it's a 50% win rate, what should your trading win-loss distribution look like? What I call R, my reward. So if I'm going to risk 100, I want to make 300. All right. So this was, I'm just picking up, I just wanted to fit it on the screen so you can see it. This is a typical 50% win rate distribution, right? What do you got here? A loss, a loss, a loss, a win, a loss, a loss, win, 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 loss, win, win, win. So between these positive and negative numbers, you're seeing, a couple losses, couple wins, but they're right there at that 50% mark. And so I'm not going to hurt. I mean, I might get scared if I get 3 losses in a row. Like here, you had a -1, 0.1. We got out of that early. We saw that the winds were changing. So rather than take the full loss, we took a small loss, and lo and behold, it protected us. That's one thing about trading too, is knowing when to get out. What's that song? You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. So it's like, nope, that's got to fold, and we're gonna we minimize or mitigate our losses. So anyway, you have 3 in a row. It's like, oh man, I lost 3 trades in a row, man. And look at this too, 531. So I don't know what the day. Let's say this is a Thursday, and then this is a Friday. All right. So for 2 days, you've been sustaining losses, and then over the weekend, June 1st, 2nd, June 3rd, June 4th, and nothing happens on June 4th. Let's say that's a Monday, and you're like, oh man, I have 3 losses behind me, and I couldn't find anything today on Monday. It was just a soggy, dreary Monday. Everyone's waiting for some report to come out, and the market's not moving. What do I do? Well, you sit on your hands, and you're like, I'm just going to go make a sandwich. Or I'm not. I see this trade. I'm not going to take it. And what do? You lose out on a 4R trade, and that 4.6R trade took out this 2.1 R loss. And so what do you have? You had -1 here, then you're -1.1 here, you're -2.1 here. But because then your psychology said, well, I had 3 days in a row, I had 3 trades in a row. Let me sit back a little while, let the market sort itself out. I'll come back later. And what you do? You lost that 4R trade. You could have lost that 3R trade. And then what happens if you follow your rules and get rid of your psychology, your negative psychology? You'd miss out on 25R, whatever your R is, 0.5%, 1/4%. 1%, you'd miss out on all of that. So your question to yourself is, how can I make sure I take every single one of these trades, especially when things look bad? Let's take a look at what happened back in April. I had never in my 5 years, except when I was learning, once I could say I was a professional trader where I had a system and I was working my system, I had never experienced this in the 3.5 years that I've professionally traded, having a losing streak like this. I mean, what are the odds of flipping a coin, of having a 50% win rate? What are the odds of flipping a coin and getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Not, I had the number there. Why did I bother counting? Of that, it was 2, 1 and 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 5. You had a 1 in 512 odds that as you follow your rules, and you have a rules-based system, and these rules say you win about half the time. What is it? 1 in 512. And it's like, man, what am I doing wrong? I need to sit back. I need to get out of the market. I need to take a break. I need to maybe I need to go back and back test another 6 months worth of trades and just make sure I'm not doing something wrong. No. What are the odds of this happening? Very small. Is there a chance? Yeah, there's a chance. So if I quit, or had my people quit, say, you know what, something's going wrong. We're doing something wrong. Maybe we're missing some step. Maybe something's happening that we didn't know about. And you quit. What would you have missed out on? Well, in terms of R, the very next trade is a winner. And then you had a loser. And then a winner. And a winner. and a loser and a winner and a winner and a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So yeah, off those first 9 trades, you're down 9R. But if you keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, if you keep taking every trading opportunity as part of your edge, what do you get? Well, now we're not as bad. Now we're not as bad. Now we're not as bad. And now we're in the positive. Positive, 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 positive. All right. And that's why you got to really do your best to say, I am working a system, provided you have a systematized way of trading. Not to, oh, my brother's uncle's niece's grandson said he heard some really great tip from his brother's cousin's nephew. I better buy that stock. I better place this trade. No. You need to have a system that says under these conditions, just like with the engineers. I mean, when you have a system, this is how you design a bridge. You have a system to design a bridge under these conditions, and that bridge, odds are, will be a stable, successful bridge. If you do this and this and this in your relationship, you will have a successful relationship. And if you do this, this, and this in your trading system, you'll have a successful trading lifestyle. And so you can't let these things go. Now, the thing you can make sure is you do ask yourself, did I do something wrong? Did I violate my system? Am I getting a little happy-go-lucky? Am I getting a little flippant, a little cocky? As Han Solo said to Luke, right? Hey, kid, don't get cocky. You don't want to get cocky, but you do want to make sure that a failed trade, in my book, is a trade where you didn't follow your rules, didn't follow your system, didn't rely on your edge. We can make mistakes. In fact, that's the goal of having a checklist-based trading system, a step-by-step based trading system, is to eliminate error. In fact, another great resource I would recommend highly is a book called Work the System. It was designed by a surgeon, written by a surgeon. And I had done this all my life in corporate America. And I just love the fact that he wrote this down. For instance, in hospitals, there was an infection rate of X, right? People get infections in the hospital, and a death rate, a mortality rate of Y, where people would die from these infections. And it was all because of mistakes. A nurse didn't wash her hand. This utensil didn't get put into the sterilizer. So-and-so came and the gauze wasn't wrapped a certain way. All these things. And what he did is he just said, all these people who are experts in their fields, they're making these stupid little mistakes. And people are dying because of this. So he instituted checklists. Now, what do you got? You got 7-figure surgeons. I'm not following a checklist. Do you know who you're talking to? I'm the chief cardiology surgeon, chief neuroendocrinologist. Who do you think you're talking to? I need to follow a checklist. Well, it was made mandatory, and at least amongst the nurses, and infections and mortality went down like 92%, like some crazy number. And then the doctor's like, wow, maybe there's something to this thing. Maybe I should start following a checklist. So if that's important to doctors in terms of whether their patient lives or dies after undergoing this major surgery, like what's the point of having this major surgery if your patient is just going to die of a stupid infection? What's the point of you putting your capital in the market if you're just going to make a stupid mistake? You follow a checklist. You follow a process. In fact, there's a great piece of flow charting software. And so, I mean, literally, my trading system is a flow chart. Begin. Look at this. If this, then that. Okay, yes. Okay, does this mean? Yes. Does this mean? No. Okay, don't take the trade. Go to your next symbol. Literally, you got to follow your system. So your failure as a trader is by not following whatever system it is. You're, well, I know this, but I just heard this great little news. Oh, I see this pattern, but it's making me scared. What did that old Newhart skit? Stop it. Just stop it. I need to make a trading version of that. I need to get that Newhart skit, because it's about a woman who's afraid of being buried alive, and he's like, stop it. That's his great psychological advice, what he's being paid for as a psychologist. And so as a trader, just say, stop it. Stop doing stupid things which cause you to lose money. Just like stop doing these stupid things which causes your patients to die after this life-saving surgery, as these stupid mistakes. So did I feel like a failure having these 9 losing trades in a row? No, because I did everything right. I went back. I mean, after the 4th or 5th trade, I'm like, let me go back. Did I do anything wrong? No, I didn't do anything wrong. But I just, okay, it's not me. Something is going on in the market that I have no control over. But I know that I have control over my thought process and I have control over my system. Okay. So that's my encouragement to you is make sure that number one, your system is systematized or systematizable, that you could then track these things and not get all caught up. And that'll just end all your frustration. And these are 3 cool quotes from that book. Traders who think in probabilities are confident in their overall success because they commit to take every trade that meets their edge. Well, I don't know. No, take it. Well, I don't know about that. Take it. If it meets your rules, take it. Otherwise, you lose the conglomerate that is necessary to take all the trades. Yes, any one trade can fail. Any one trade can win. But it is the conglomerate of all of those trades that create a winning system that's going to bring your account to where you want it to be. What do unsuccessful traders do? They're obsessed with market analysis, right? They want certainty. They want to know, well, I know this is their P&L. Well, I know that this is what the president said of the company. Yeah, and I know that this is that new product they're coming out with. Why? Because they want to be right. Well, our job is not to be right on every single trade. I don't know if this trade's going to win or lose. I just know if I play the game, I will win in the big picture. And that's because I have confidence in my system. I back tested it. I have confidence in me because I've learned that if I just do this and walk away, be like that guy on the meme. Nope. I don't want to babysit my trade. I don't need to be right on every trade. That's going to give me the certainty that I know is there versus what the unsuccessful traders, they're looking for certainty that doesn't exist. Like who'd have thunk that Disney would be down 50%? How many people have their 401k or their IRA and have Disney in it? And boom, they lost half their money because they're doing stupid things. Who'd have thought that Budweiser, the king of beers, would have been hammered the way they were? So how many people have Anheuser-Busch in their portfolio and got hammered? How many people, what's the third one? Marvel. No, not Marvel. Amazon. $1 billion they invested in Lord of the Rings. How could you screw up Lord of the Rings? Well, they did, and they're $1 billion hemorrhage right there. And you invest in big company. Oh, that's Disney. Oh, that's Amazon. Oh, that's the big box store. And what happens? You invest in all these big box stores. What happens? COVID hits. And so that people are looking for certainty that doesn't exist. What are we certain of? I know where people are buying, and I know where people are selling because I'm using a chart-based system. And charts never lie. People can lie, politicians can lie, your boss can lie, but charts never lie. Charts tell us exactly where buyers and sellers are duking it out. That's why I say it's trading like a pirate. I'm not looking to take on a freighter. I'm not looking to take on a frigate. I'm not looking to take on a battleship. I want to get that pleasure yacht. And what's on a pleasure yacht? Rich people. What do rich people have on their boats? All kinds of stuff. And so as a pirate, I'm in the market looking to take little bites out of it. I'm not looking for that 20R trade. Yeah, I love it when I get them. People talk about a once in a lifetime trade. Oh man, I wish I invested in Apple back in the day. I wish I invested in Amazon back in the day. I wish I invested in Tesla during the day. Hey, you know what? Relax. That once in a lifetime opportunity comes around every 72 hours. All right. The point is, get in the trade. Those trades that I passed on because I was scared, those trades are the one that went to the moon. I'm like, why didn't I take that trade? Because of psychology. All right. So what happens when you achieve complete acceptance, when you accept the uncertainty of every individual trade and you accept the certainty of the overall conglomeration of trades, your frustration will end because then you'll turn that into that. Don't worry about it. I'm going to say, don't worry, be happy. I'm not going to quote that song. Don't worry, be happy. But when you stop trying to make the market do what you want it to do, and you just flow, we're surfing, we're wakeboarders. We are actually the example I use. is the market, and all the market makers are like that big shark. And we're that little fish that hangs out with the shark, the remora. And what happens? The shark's doing all the work. Little guy is here is just hanging along for the ride. And when the shark takes a bite out of that market, what happens? There's chum, there's flesh, there's yummy stuff all in the water. And the little fish goes, num, 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 num. And that's what we do. I don't move the market. They move the market. What are they going to do? I don't know. But I can see what they did based on those big explosive moves that they leave, their footprints. All right. And when I completely accept that I'm not going to win every trade, but I'm going to win enough of them, and my win-loss ratio and my risk-to-reward ratio are going to get me to my goal month by month, day by day, year by year. It's going to get us closer to our goal. I will completely accept. I love losses. You know why I love losses? Because they're small and because they're one step closer to my win when I have a win rate of 50, 60, 72%. That's all I need. In fact, you can have a win rate of 20% as long as your risk to reward is 5-1 or more. You know, you don't have to win them all. You just have to win enough of them. All right. So apparently that's my last slide. and this was good. This was good for me. And I hope it was good for you, because we need to be reminded of these things. Like I mentioned in this slide here, I couldn't believe that I let my friend, who he's a fellow trader, and he just trades a different system, but they're both, you know, we both compare notes and stuff. And I said, I found this great opportunity. It meets my rules. And like, well, I don't know. I think that's where the market's going to turn around. And he said it enough times that it just put a seed of doubt in my head. Well, I don't know. Maybe he's right. I mean, he's pretty successful too. I mean, his system is totally different than mine. But see, I'll take winning trades that he would never trade. He takes winning trades that I will never trade. You know, no, there's no one magical trading system. Do I think my system is awesome? Absolutely. Do I know that system works? That system works? Absolutely. I know plenty of system works. And that's one of the things I think also about trading is so hard. This part of talking about this trading psychology. The hardest thing about trading is being a trader. Am I going to be a day trader? Am I going to be working those 5 and 15-minute candles? So I'm at work and my phone goes off, or this and phone goes off. And it took me 5 years to figure out, I got to step back. I'm trading the 4-hour candles. I remember used to ridiculing these professional traders. Here's this guy, 26 years old, in a suit, got the suspenders, got the bow tie. That's his look. That's who he was. And I was like, who's this goofball telling me I got to trade the 4-hour candles? That is boring. That is slow. I can't make money on I need to make money now. It took me 3 years before I started trading the 4-hour candles. And I'm like, dude, this is the flippin' holy grail. So as I like to say, the hardest thing about trading is being a trader, because you've got to figure out what are you going to trade, when are you going to trade, how much money are you going to trade, does your trading system, can you do this? Like I said earlier in this slide, it's one thing to say, does your system work? All right. It's another thing to say, can I work the system? And I remember the very first trade I ever put on. I mean, the very first trade, I went to this educational company. I learned how to trade. This was 13 years ago. And I became proficient at it. And I remember saying, all right, this is the real deal, putting real money on it. And click. And literally, I felt my neck turn red, my chin turn red, my face turn red. And I'm like, what's going on with me? I felt like I just got infected with that the rage virus or something from what's that video game? Not Redemption, Red, which is whatever it was. You get bit by the zombie, and within like 30 seconds, boom, you're a zombie. I was like, what's going wrong with me? My blood pressure, my heartbeat. It's because that is now real. You know, it's like, you know, must say, hey, dude, we're just keeping it real. It's like, when you make it real, you know, that was absolutely, I was went bonkers. I couldn't believe I've been trading this way for 6 months now. I've been simulating. I've been making money. I've been profitable. Should be nothing just to switch accounts and click on that. Boom. No. So that's where you're going to discover, what kind of trader you need to be and what type of trading system you're going to follow or create. And that was actually my latest epiphany. I'll share with you my latest epiphany. And I shared this with my group too, is very often you want to learn somebody's system. I had a lot of mentors. I had a lot of folks I really looked up to, people who were professional traders. And he traded this way. She traded that way. He traded this way. She traded that way. And they were all different. And I'm just spinning plates, or throwing spaghetti at the wall, trying to figure out what sticks. I finally had to sit down and say, I'm going to follow one system. Or really what I did was say, I'm going to take all the common things that I learned from these people, and I'm going to learn how to trade. And it occurred to me as I looked back, I'm not just looking to copy Joe's system, Sally's system, Bob's system, and trade like Bob, trade like Joe, trade like Sally. I had to learn how to trade from Bob, Sally, and Joe. And then I had to become a trader. I couldn't trade like Sally. I mean, this sounded really smart, and woo, when she did that, I couldn't trade like Joe because this made sense. But then I'm like, what? How did you come up with that? I never see where you come up with that. And then Bill, oh, those are so simple, so good. But then I'm just not getting what this thing I'm not catching what you're throwing there, Bill. So I just had to put myself in a closet for 3 weeks. And that's why I say when COVID hit, that was the best, worst thing that ever happened to me because it made me sit down and become the trader I needed to become, me. So I would encourage you, I guess, in closing, because we're hitting right at the 1 hour mark, that when you learn to trade from somebody, learn how trading works according to them, but then you're going to have to learn how to be a trader based on that system. So I do trade in a supply and demand or technical analysis or price action kind of way. Do I trade like I was taught when I went to that education company? Not exactly. Do I trade exactly like my number one mentor? Not exactly. My number 2, 3, 4 mentors? Not exactly. The foundation is there, but I had to become that trader. So I encourage you on your journey, learn how to trade, learn how trading works. But then you're going to have to definitely, this is going to be one of the biggest part is helping you discover your weaknesses. And it could be that you just don't have time. Like you can't be a day trader. You're working from 8 to 11 in the morning. So, that 4-hour system doesn't look so bad anymore. Because even though I trade 3 days a week with my crew on the 4-hour time frame for the month of May, for the 32 opportunities that came out, just in those 2-hour windows, we found 2/3 of them. All right, we didn't get every single trade. I mean, they might have gotten more trades if they traded outside of the 6 hours, 9 o'clock on Monday, 2 o'clock on Wednesday, 9 o'clock on Friday that we did. It's like, but imagine day trading and saying, oh man, I missed so many trades. I can't afford to do this because I'm at work. If you are an employee or if you are a business owner, you only need to trade maybe 2 hours a day, 3 times a week. It doesn't even have to be at 9 a.m. It could be at 10 p.m. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can trade for 2 hours and you can catch the majority of the trades that are offered to you in the market. So just a thought there. So what does Norm MacDonald used to say? Thanks to listen to this old piece of coal over here, taking up some of your time. But I hope that you did get $1.50 worth of my 2 cents today. Okay. And I know this is a small group today and it's a Saturday morning, but I wanted to get the hang out of all of this stuff here. So this was really good. Hey, Casey, how's it going? I actually have a hard stop at 11 o'clock because I've got a commitment that I need to go to. But yeah, Casey, good to hear from you. Did you just tune in, or were you part of the whole shebang? And I'd be willing, if you had any questions, I'd be willing to fit one question in the 170 seconds that I have before I have to take my hard stop. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. One problem on the Mac here is they've really locked down their hardware, especially with the camera. So I had all these camera software that lets me do my zoom and do my pan and tilt, so I can just frame myself just right, so I'm not like this little guy right in the corner. Oh, just got it. Oh, no problem at all, Casey. Well, I don't know how long it'll take after I shut the stream down, but this will be recorded, so you can watch it afterwards, and along with the rest of my articles in there. But I'm just out of curiosity, Casey, you're here. Are you? Because I got to figure out during the week when's the best time to do a weekly stream like this. Would it be during the day, like say, like I can do it like 11 o'clock in the morning, any day during the week, or I could do it in the evenings. And of course, I'm Eastern time. See, that's the other thing too. Is I think there's no really bad time to do this because we're a worldwide network, so you can't satisfy everybody. But I even thought of alternating, like maybe like one Monday I'll do it at 11 in the morning, the next Monday I'll do it at 9 o'clock at night, and vice versa. So I guess I'll just have to throw it around there, maybe even throw up a poll or something. But no, hey, welcome, Casey, and I look forward to seeing you on my next one, and looking forward to hearing from you and hearing if you got any questions. I think the chat box can live in perpetuity. I don't think the chat box goes away after the stream is over, so I can answer questions or just direct message me. Yeah, exactly. That's how, like, when I started teaching, I was like, hey, what's the best time to teach? Should I teach during the day when the market's moving? Should I teach at night when people who have jobs or businesses are at home? So I thought of even just mixing it up too. I think there's no wrong way to do it. It's just like with trading. There's no wrong way to do it. Just got to do it. Well, I mean, there is a wrong way to trade, but but it's like don't let that stop you. I don't just trade Forex. I'd like futures as well. 99% of the folks in my group, though, are Forex traders because I guess just because of the entry level. Like with Forex, you can open up an account for $100, and start trading. You're not going to become rich doing that. You're not going to generate a reliable income off of that, but you can at least be trading live and start compounding. With futures, you kind of need about 20 grand to effectively trade futures. And of course, with stocks, you need tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, unless you're trading options, and options are a different animal. So yeah, if you have any other questions, feel free. You can direct message them to me, and I'll include them in my next stream. And looking for and anything you want to learn, that's what I'm here for. I just want to give back to the community and help everybody learn some of the things I learned and encourage everybody on our journey, as is my mission. So, all right, everyone, this is wonderful and a good inaugural stream. I think I got the technology down. I know how this works, and we'll hit the ground running during the week. So keep an eye out for the next date. Getting the right strategy. I've gone from 2 to 3 strategies, but still haven't found the right one because I work late hours. Yeah, I haven't scheduled it, Casey, but I will probably, like I just mentioned, I'll probably throw. I'm thinking I'd like to do it twice a week, and I was thinking of doing it within an hour after my live trading classes. Since I'm already in front of my computer, I get a quick hour break and then come back from that. So I'm thinking like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday ish kind of thing, but I haven't put it in stone. So I'll be looking at my schedule this week. Now that I got this down, I was really worried the camera wouldn't work, especially today. So now that I know it's working on the Mac, I had to go find a third-party piece of software in order to get the camera to work right with the zooming and the color correction and stuff because of the lighting and all that. So it'll come up. I'll post another stream maybe today. Maybe by the end of the day today, I'll post the times in there to tune in. So, all right, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and we'll see everybody at the next stream. Take care.